Hi, my name is Shine-Olivarez, and I'm going to explain my teacher action research project called Let Your Knowledge Shine. So my objective was to create a new approach to warm-ups that engaged students in the first 5 to 10 minutes of class. My research question was, does using glow-in-the-dark warm-ups change students' perceptions about warm-ups? I'm a middle school science teacher, and this is my 6th year of teaching. Now, I have previously used warm-ups in the classroom, but in my current school year, I had not used warm-ups at all. My students are in 8th grade pre-AP science, and I teach at a middle school in San Antonio. I have 119 students in about 5 different sections. The data I collected was a pre-research survey done through Google Classroom. I had a Google form, and the students just submitted it during a class day. I had 115 students complete that survey. I was also able to do a post-research survey. Now, due to COVID-19 and the school closures, this was done during distance learning in my Google Classroom, and I had 61 students complete it. My artifacts are going to be the students' version of the warm-ups and stickers. I was able to collect 2 weeks of data. And then I kept a teacher reflection journal throughout the process and a reflection after the process. So one of the surprising things was how much warm-ups are used in different classrooms. As you can see, there's a high percentage of history students using warm-up. About 96.5% of my students are doing warm-ups in history. They're definitely doing them in their ELA and comms class, which is a communication class that they have to take. And then the lowest numbers were math, but even electives at 56.1% are still doing warm-ups in the class. So this shows that warm-ups are a strategy that are used by a lot of different teachers in the middle school classroom. So here's about 4 different questions that I asked. The surprising thing is that 25.4% believe warm-ups are useful. 34.2% didn't think they actually did better with a warm-up, so they weren't very useful or helpful. And then 34.2% didn't like warm-ups. Now, only 6.1% liked warm-ups. Everyone else was kind of in the middle or indifferent. And then 40.7% didn't think we needed to start warm-ups in class. Now, when I announced we were going to do warm-ups, there was lots of groans. The students definitely thought this was going to be a painful process. So here was my warm-up design. Now, on the outside, it appears to be a normal warm-up. There's areas for questions, and they're in different sections. And what I did was this warm-up happens to be on some main ideas in chemistry that we went over in the beginning of the school year. And then I asked the students to use highlighters to connect main ideas. And then their work shines under a black light. So I had a black light rope that was attached to the ceiling, and it was a set of lights. So their work actually did glow in the dark. So here was a breakdown of the weekly schedule of the warm-up, but I'm going to show you why I broke it down this way. So on Monday and Tuesday, I asked them to complete the 2 different sides of the warm-up. This was so that they could retrieve all the knowledge from their notebooks or from their brain. Retrieve is the ability to access long-term memories and bring them into working memory to solve problems. On Wednesday, I had them review both sides, and I also went over it with them. So review encourages students to retrieve memories from long-term storage areas, and we're trying to move them into those short-term storage areas so they can access it faster. And then I had them look for common themes. So I was asking them to recode. So when students generate their own meaning, their memories improve. And so another way I asked them to recode was I wanted them to design a sticker using the highlighters of one topic that was really difficult to remember, because the idea was that the knowledge would stick in their brains if they were creating a sticker. And then at the end, we were going to have a black light review party where we played music and they could wear a shirt full of all their glow-in-the-dark stickers. So here's how some of the student artifacts turned out. As you can see, going left to right, left was the first week. So we have lots of doodles, lots of highlighter, same color application, not a lot of tying in the knowledge. And so this is where I realized that I had to teach them how to highlight. So in week 2, what you can see the difference is that she's using the color yellow for any fact that had to do with a metal, pink non-metals, and green was the metalloids. So the first 2 warm-ups, Those were the main ideas, and so they grouped them together by color so that their eye would be drawn to those facts. And then I had them do the stickers at the end of the week. So here are two main ideas that this person really needed to have to memorize by the end of the 10 weeks. So I have another student artifact where a similar process, you can see that their highlighting of main ideas improves by week 2 with some instruction on how to highlight better. And then they have a sticker developed also that would glow in the dark under the black light. So my post-research survey said that 87% of them thought that the glow in dark made the warm-ups more fun. 8% said that it was fun, but that they didn't really care what the warm-ups looked like. They do them anyways. And 5% said that they didn't like to do warm-ups no matter how they looked. 84% found this process more enjoyable. 0 said it was less enjoyable, and 16% said it didn't matter. So here's some of the feedback, and I'll touch on the feedback later because it helps with my reflection and how I'm actually going to use this feedback to make my project better next year. So due to COVID-19 and school closures, I was only able to collect 2 weeks of warm-ups, but students were really excited about the warm-ups. A lot of them were talking about them outside the classroom, and I even had other teachers asking me about it because their students were requesting to do assignments under a black light. It also increased my teacher creativity outside because I teach 7th graders also, and I made a glow-in-the-dark food web lesson for them, specifically because they asked me to do it because they saw the black lights and they wanted to use them. So based on my student recommendations, I'm going to extend glow-in-the-dark warm-ups to a year-round activity. I'm going to incorporate more assignments to use glow-in-the-dark outside of the warm-ups arena. I'm going to teach my students how to highlight as a study tool so they aren't highlighting the whole page and they know how to group together main ideas. I'm going to put less questions on each page and provide more space, and then organize the highlighters and make them easier for the students to access. So here's why you should care. If you're doing warm-ups and everyone else is doing warm-ups, you should ask yourself, how is this making a difference, and is it really helping, or is it just busy work? How do I know my research matters? It's made a difference in my classroom already. My students were really excited to do the warm-ups, and I didn't have any pushback. And then after all your work, so what? I hope that using this feedback, other teachers will increase their creativity in the classroom so that we can all make learning fun. And that is all. Here's some supplies that I used in my classroom. Those are the rope lights, those are the stickers. This was the warm up to science book provided by my school district that I got the warm ups from. These are the Office Depot brand highlighters, and here's my references. Thank you for listening.